Welcome. Here lies the eye of paradox between responsibility and heart's desire, the virtual world and real life, impulsive intuition and wisdom. I called this place the eye of the storm. My life balances on a razor's edge, juggling the myriad responsibilities of a family man who is the primary breadwinner and part-time caregiver for his disabled wife, the trials and tribulations of launching my writing career on the side. Being pulled in contradictory directions by these tangential forces, the eye is the intuitive balance point, where the forces cancel themselves out and a precarious equilibrium can be maintained within the vertigo. The eye is the wellspring of my creativity, flowing for most of my life. I have been active artistically from a young age, having my first singing performance at age 7 in school, and my first story and poems written at ages 9 and 10 respectively. I polished my gifts for performing and storytelling through high school and college and into adult life through tabletop RPG gaming and 3 years of college, continuing to write poetry as I started into professional life. At 30, I discovered the genre of fan fiction and started writing under the pseudonym of Tacoma Squall. After a few years, marriage and children took my focus away from writing, and I set my ambitions as a writer on the back burner, continuing to write poetry as an outlet, but with no real hope of publishing or making a go of it. That all changed in the fall of 2013 when I discovered the writing community on Twitter after some major upheavals in my life. Here, I found like-minded artists to support and inspire and push my growth as a creative, including the people here at Creative Mondays. With the help of the Twitter community and the writing prompts therein, I developed my voice as both an observer poet and emotional storyteller, using the pseudonym of Tortured Cyclone. I have quickly established myself as one of the most prolific poets within the community. I believe a good poet should be able to write about anything, so my body of work is broad in subject matter, but my name is most associated with romantic and erotic poetry and with the genre of haiku. My poetry has appeared in both The Wood Knots, released by Frayed Tag Publishing in 2014, and Neverlasting, released February 2015 by Fiery Verse LLC. My work will also appear in a forthcoming collection of erotic verse from the UINK.ca website. My first collection of poems, Dog and Fox and Other Musings, is in the formatting stages and should be coming out in ebook format soon. I am also exploring other formats for this collection of over 90 haiku. Further poetic compilations, taken from both longer work and Twitter posts, are in the early stages of planning. Additionally, I have launched an archive of past fan fiction and begun writing new fanfic material for the first time in several years. At the same time, I am working on short stories and my first original novel, Twilight's Opening. Before Twilight's Opening is complete, I plan to release an anthology of my completed short stories and teasers of forthcoming writing projects in ebook, possibly by the end of the year. To give you a small taste of my body of work, here's a sampling of it, including a poem from Twilight's Opening. Epitaph. Sunrise shatters dark just as life falls into death. One spoke of the wheel. Overflow. Pressure building within, each sensation, each touch, each kiss, redoubling the frenzy within until it unleashes passion's tsunami. Chicago Nights. The wind comes off the lake and into the city, and with the night she comes again. I never hear her coming. Suddenly, she's just there, with that smile that tells me that tonight is just ours. I loved her and I lost her. Now, when I see fire or feel the wind, I think of those lost Chicago nights. Her hair was of spun gold, her skin was ivory, with the grace of a prima ballerina and the mind of eternity. When first I met her, she said she was lost. She clung to me like a victim of shipwreck, aground tossed. I loved her, I lost her. Now, when I see fire or feel the wind, I think of our lost Chicago nights. But one night she ran from me. She said she had endangered me, that she destroyed all she loved. That night, afraid for her, I followed her home. When I arrived there, her house was afire. I burst into the house too late. Her home became her funeral pyre. I loved her, and I lost her. Now, when I see fire or feel the wind, I think of those lost Chicago nights. Years may pass and life go on, but when wind blows or fire roars, my mind goes back to Chicago, to a woman named Tatiana. You can find my work on Twitter under Tortured Cyclone, also at torturedcyclone.blogspot.com and at tacomasquall.wordpress.com and at www.uink.ca.